Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for coming.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We will get started in about 30 seconds. So let's just give a few more people a chance to join us. But super glad you guys are here. We're going to have a bunch of fun. Okay. Just like 20 seconds of wonderful silence, and then we'll get started.
Any of y'all have any good jokes? I only ask because I don't have any. So.
A few more people joining us. Wonderful.
Cool. And John, I'll keep my eye out so you can go ahead and get going.
Okay, well, fantastic. So we're gonna do introductions first. And so if you guys would, as you come on, find a way to turn on your camera and your microphone so we can have a conversation. That's what we're here to do tonight. So introductions to start everything off so we can all get to know each other as humans in a fun and friendly way. So this is Team Ovanova right here. So I'm John, one of the founders of Ovanova. We've been working on this project for a little over 6 years now and having a ton of fun. And my partner, Lester, he's the other founder. He is normally the MC of the evening's events, but is hanging out with some friends in the mountains of North Carolina right now. There we go. Just, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how he was working.
Cool, there we go. And so he's not going to be with us tonight, but you guys are missing a treat. Lester's amazing. And Luke is the jokester earlier. So he's also a super hardworking young man with Holly who put together those solar designs. So if you guys are here tonight and did not receive a free solar design, like a custom design specifically for your house, then it's either in your spam box or you should let us know, because that's just part of what we do is we give one of those to everybody who registers. So Team Ovanova here, maybe you'll get a chance to know us more in the future, but tonight's not about us. It's about you guys and the organizations that you came here to support. So if you guys could do this, this is how we'll do introductions. So this is going to be fun. Tell us your name, like I said, I'm John. Where you're at in the country, Hillsborough, North Carolina, like right in the middle. And the organization you came here to support, lots of elementary schools. And I'm actually here to support all the organizations you guys came here to support. But who you guys showed up to support. And also, if you wouldn't mind, Sharon, why do you guys think that more people aren't using solar energy? So that's our introductions for tonight. I don't know what this image is about. I've never seen it before. It just showed up tonight. So we're just going to ignore that. So this is a popcorn type deal. So whoever introduces themselves calls on the next person. So I went first. I'm gonna call on Monica. Monica, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Okay, so my name is Monica Valdez. I'm supporting my daughter's school, Somerset Academy Bay or SoBay. Her name is Catalina. From Miami and in Miami. And I did receive the proposal. We've actually looked into solar. We just have not pulled the trigger on it yet. And I think people just don't know. They're kind of afraid of the initial cost, or it's not something that's very popular in Miami yet. So I think that's what people are apprehensive about. We've looked at it because our electricity bill is very high. So we're doing everything that we can to bring it down.
Super cool. Well, Monica, thank you for coming tonight. Who's next? Who would you like to hear from next?
I know Trish, so Trish Balais. It says Olivia, but.
Hi, that's my daughter. I'm using my daughter's Zoom. Hi, everybody. Yeah, Trish Balais. I'm from Jersey, but immigrated here to Miami. So I've been here for the last 20 years and I love it. But I agree with everything Monica said. I think maybe it's a little bit of lack of education on solar. And also I think probably the upfront costs may seem scary. My neighbor actually has solar panels and he loves it, but I've never looked into it yet. I just feel like maybe there's other things that have to line up. You know, it's kind of like you may put certain things at the end of the list of, oh, well, I have to pay for this first, I have to pay for that second. And so it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. That's been my issue. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you, Trish. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, life is busy, isn't it? And there's a lot to do. The list is long. Well, we're so glad that you found your way to this experience this evening. And who would you like to hear from next?
Luke, you're up.
Hey, so my name's Luke. I'm currently in Indianapolis, but kind of traveled a little different direction than you, Trish. I'm from Maryland originally, and part of Team Ovanova. So just here to support the organizations that y'all are here to support. Happy to be here. No more jokes though.
Who's next, Luke?
Let's go with I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly, but Ale?
Yes, I'm Alejandra. How are you?
Doing great.
Well, thank you for choosing me. My name's Alejandra Gonzalez. I am also representing SoBay. I was born and raised in Miami. We are actually pretty new to the school. And we have been interested in solar panel for a long time, but just like everyone else, a lot of the houses here are pretty, they're not that updated and they're pretty old. So I have pushed back a lot on it because, it's a money factor and there's so many other things that are going on right now. So I definitely think that people are a little reluctant to do it because like they said, there's not a lot known about it. And, there's so many other projects that are kind of needed. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. This is great. Thank you for making that long list and lots to do, making this one of your things to do this evening. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Who would you like to hear from next, Alejandra?
Well, I just want to make sure I don't pick someone else from Nova. Let's see. Jesse?
Good evening. My name is Jessie Finlayson. I'm supporting Summerfield Elementary in Riverview, Florida, and I'm in Tampa, Florida. And I think the reason a lot of people don't have solar is because of lack of education, not understanding what it, can do for saving your energy and the costs.
Cool. Thank you for sharing and the cost. Well, these are good reasons why people wouldn't be using solar energy, and thank you for sharing. All the way from Tampa, Florida. Lots of Floridians tonight. Jesse, who would you like to hear from next? I believe there's just two folks we haven't heard from. Christopher and I think Carolina, who's I think she's trying to connect right now. So maybe we'll just choose Christopher. Okay.
Christopher, yes.
Fantastic.
My name's Chris Brown. It really is Chris Brown, I swear to God. And I'm supporting the same school in Miami that Monica is supporting. And my experience has been that people's hesitancy toward getting or supporting solar energy initiatives is, one, they believe if the sun is not shining, they won't have a hot shower. And two is what Jesse said, which is lack of knowledge about the cost of solar power relative to nuclear or fossil fuels or geothermal or other alternatives.
Fantastic. Okay, maybe Carolina will be able to get her stuff working and join us in a bit. Is anybody here that has not introduced themselves? Oh, our robot is starting to clean. 1 second. I was gonna, I'm closing the door so it doesn't make noise. So isn't it?
Is that your solar? That's your solar robot?
That robot is vacuuming the floors powered by sunshine. Yes, sir. So it's a great time to be alive. It really is, right? When there's little robots that can go around cleaning up dirt from running off sunshine. So again, super grateful that you guys took time out of your very busy lives to support something that you care about. And that's why we always have really fun conversations on these experiences, because we're working with a group of individuals who showed up to do something other than for themselves, outside of themselves. So if you guys came here specifically just to generate $50 for your community organization and you see that cat on the screen, we're done with that. So the only requirements for this fundraiser were to show up on camera, so we knew that you're an adult and not a child, and introduce yourselves. And you guys have done that. So we have raised, let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah, so it's actually 250. 250. Yeah, $250 for good causes. That's a pretty crazy fundraiser, right? Think about how many candy bars would have had to been sold to raise $250, or bake sale, or cars washed. So we wanted to make it easy, and we also wanted to provide a super fun way to learn about solar energy. So we did send you guys a free solar design earlier today. So I know Monica mentioned that she received hers. That's awesome. Just know that we made one assumption to build the whole thing, which is that you were correct about how much electricity you use on average each month. So if you remember when you registered for this, you said who your electricity company was and how much electricity you use. And that determines how many solar panels that we put on your house. If you need a whole lot of electricity produced, then you need a whole lot of panels. If you need a little bit of electricity, you need a small amount of panels, fewer panels. So either way, you have that. And since you guys actually showed up, because there's actually less than half of the people that registered found themselves on this experience. Because like you guys said, life is busy, right? We have so much going on. It's difficult to even show up for things that we said we would be at. Since you guys did, tomorrow you'll get what's called open book pricing, and it will break down your solar design point by point, showing you how much the actual panels cost, how much the contractors get paid, how much it costs to manage your project and get permits and interconnect it with the power company, how much we earn even. So all of that will be there, even battery options in case you're the type of person who wants to have electricity after a hurricane. There's even an option in there so you can see how much it would cost if you were to add batteries in with your solar panels. So all of that you'll get. I think Luke's actually working on that right now. I think he's working on emailing those out. Is that what you're doing, Luke? I know you're busy over there.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. So just making sure y'all can get them when this is over, or when y'all are done. Get y'all.
Oh, cool. So you might even get them today, right? Fantastic. Thanks, Luke. So if you don't receive that, it's probably in your spam box, or it's possible when you registered, you put in the wrong email address. Some people think that we might like spam, and so they don't put in their proper email. And that's not what we're about. We've been working with schools and community organizations for 6 years, and we're about making it really easy to raise funds for great stuff and helping people learn about a technology that's been around for a long time. Anybody know how long solar panels have been being used? 1954, Bell Labs, a U.S. invention. So 67 years we've had solar panels. Pretty cool. That's a long time. The first ones that we made, they still work. They still take sunshine and generate electricity. So they haven't even broken yet. There's no moving parts in a solar panel, so there's not much to break. So either way, let's just, if you guys are okay with this, so you're going to get that design with the open book pricing probably before this meeting's over with, if not just a few hours from now. But tonight is just an open conversation based on what you guys just shared, right? So you guys just came up with a little list of stuff for why you think that folks are not using solar energy. And what we found is you guys are exactly right. It's that folks just haven't looked into it because we're so darn busy. So if you guys wouldn't mind like unmuting and really having a fun conversation with me here, I just want to ask a few questions that seem rhetorical, but really consider them. Does anybody here intend on discontinuing the use of electricity?
Hopefully in the future.
We do. Our plan is definitely to go solar.
Oh, okay. Well, but you're still going to use electricity, right?
Well, we'll still use electricity. Yeah.
You
Obviously.
mean like go off the grid and live in the mountains?
Right. No.
Yeah. I know. So that's the thing to get really clear on as a human family. We're not going to go backwards. We're always going to have a refrigerator, right? So, please understand, this is not a sales conversation. I'm not going to, even if you guys bought solar from us, you didn't buy anything you're not going to use, you're not going to buy anyway, which is electricity. Like, we're all going to buy electricity for the rest of our lives. That's not even up for debate. And so, did anybody do that the fun math of wondering, does anybody here know how long like the guarantee would be if you went solar, how long your panels are warranted for? The shortest warranty that the shortest warranty that I'm personally aware of is 25 years. So
You mean for the keeping up?
if
the
you got,
panel?
the warranty saying your panels, and the warranty is actually better than just saying that they'll work. The warranty actually states that they'll work to a certain degree, which is kind of nice. So the 25-year warranty, an average panel will actually be working 85% as well on year 25 as the day it was installed. And that's just due to the material degrading over time. The glass gets a little dirty and scratched and the inside degrades. The first ones are still working. They're just producing like half what they were when they were first made. which is pretty cool. So 25 years later, your equipment is warranted or guaranteed to be producing at least 80 to 85, some equipment 92% as well as the day that it was new. So just wanted to be clear about
What
that.
if a hurricane damages it? Does the hurricane blow the panels off your roof?
So you guys have all seen solar panels around where you live?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's totally possible that a crazy hurricane comes and just demolishes houses and rips solar panels off. But what do you guys have in place as a homeowner in case a hurricane does damage your property?
A gas generator?
Well, that's cool. Well done, Trish. So you guys care about keeping the fridge cold even when the power lines are down. I mean, homeowners insurance.
Oh, yeah.
90 degrees.
Is he kidding?
Yeah. So no, you're fine, Monica. No problem. So if there were damage to your panels or to your property, you have homeowners insurance for that. And part of the process, we save customers a lot of money by not sending. We don't have any salespeople or commissions or people that would visit your house until the day of the install, and they would actually be electricians and roofers. And so in the process, we have a way where you can actually take photographs so we can do all of our engineering, and also so we can get permits and make sure that you guys are covered properly. You can send us a copy of your homeowner's declarations page so we can make sure that your solar panels will be covered in the event of a hurricane. They will be engineered so they won't fly off the roof, because your local county won't let us even install them unless they're properly engineered for high wind speeds, especially in the Miami area. But either way, it is important that your equipment is going to be insured and covered, and we check on that. But that's a fantastic question. But you did bring up something pretty interesting. If a hurricane did damage your solar panels, this is actually something Chris Brown brought up before he jumped off. Do you guys remember when Chris mentioned like a cloudy or rainy or when it's dark and how solar works? Does anybody know how it would work if it's really cloudy outside or raining?
Well, you would have a decreased amount of production.
Yeah,
Or zero
Mr.
production.
Valdez. Yeah, as long as you can see your mailbox, there's enough light so where you'll have some production. But if it's dark outside, you'll have zero production. So how in the world are you going to watch Netflix if it's dark?
Well, at that point, it changes over to the grid. So you would pull either off FPL or, in our case, FPL, Florida Power and Light.
Yeah, so you guys have been looking into solar. Fantastic. So check this out. So just like Mr. Valdez said, when you guys go solar, you're still connected to the power lines like you have always been. So your electricity will be as reliable as it has always been. So even when it's cloudy, rainy, or dark, your lights aren't going to flicker. You're not going to run out. You don't even need a battery to take advantage of the savings that you get from solar energy. So because you're connected to the power lines during the day, you'll be producing enough to use in your home and enough extra to actually sell back to the power company. The extra will go onto the power lines, and your closest neighbors will actually buy that electricity from your power company. And your power company is happy to do this because if you didn't produce it right here and give it to your neighbors, then they would have to produce it really far away and send it to your neighbors and lose like half of it in transmission. So you're like a miniature power plant where during the day you're helping the utility company by overproducing, selling it to them. That's why you guys would get a bi-directional utility meter that actually counts up the extra energy that you sell to the power company. So after dark, when you're not making any at all, you get to use electricity from the power company without paying for it. It's like cashing in a token. It's like if you know you've got neighbors and both of your kids do soccer. If you take the kids to soccer practice one week, then the neighbors owe taking the kids to soccer practice the next week, right? It's kind of like back and forth. Well, if you overproduce electricity during the day, then you get to use it back at night without actually paying for it. So there's a lot of fun stuff to learn about here. But let me ask you guys something, because I saw this come up. Does anybody know like what the deal is with being able to go solar with no upfront cost and save money? Does anybody know how that works? I could explain it to the class, the team.
No.
Have you guys heard that or seen it on Instagram or Facebook or? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this is awesome. This will be great news.
Are you referring to FPL's plan on solar production?
I may know what you're speaking of, but no, I'm just referring to being able to pay for solar with no upfront costs, have it installed, activated, and because solar generates electricity, you can actually get rid of your electricity bill.
Oh.
So you don't have an electricity bill anymore. And because you don't, then that's how you can save money, right? And so it's basically it's like this. Maybe you know somebody who's had chickens before. Maybe you have. Because they have chickens, those chickens lay eggs. And if you have eggs at your house, what do you not have to buy from the grocery store anymore? Eggs. Well, solar panels are chickens that lay electricity. And if your solar panels are generating electricity at your house, then you don't have to buy electricity from Florida Power and Light anymore, or TECO or Duke. And so tell me if this makes sense. So when are you guys going to get rid of your electricity bill? Like, when is that going to go away?
Never.
So is that like rent, right? If you could pay rent for 50 years, and are you ever going to get rid of rent? No. So that's just paying somebody else to do something for you, right? But you can own solar panels. And when have you guys ever heard of anybody who like had $1,000 in rent and then they bought a house and their mortgage was $800 and it was less than their rent? Has anybody ever heard of something like that?
Yes.
That's how solar works for most people, right? What they do is they get rid of a rental payment, their electricity bill that never goes away, and they exchange it with a mortgage payment owning solar equipment. And it's very much most of the time the case that their payment to own their solar is less than what their electricity bill was, even if they put zero upfront, zero money down to finance it. So I'm going to pause for a second. Let me ask you, Trish, how much do you have to put down in order to go solar?
To put down, you're saying zero, right?
Yeah, exactly. Isn't
But
that cool?
let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. Say if my bill is $240 a month. You're saying if I go solar, I might be paying $200 a month to buy the panels, and then eventually I'll own the panels.
Correct.
So I'm actually saving, say, maybe $40.
Let me look. I have the numbers right here just in case. Let me see.
Chris, you were very, very close. It was actually $37.
Oh, okay. Very cool. What a
very-
great example.
Or
Yeah,
32.
so if you
32, my bad.
chose,
Read it
I
incorrect.
don't see the number for some reason. Maybe
I have it up.
Trish,
we built you a system that was 103% of the electricity you'd be producing. And so using this.
Patricia.
Yeah.
It's under
So-
Patricia. I was like, I don't see a Trish on the form. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the system that we built produces a little more than you need. It produces 103%. And if you chose this option, which is a zero down financing option, and you chose to finance it over 21 years, then you would pay $32.97 less than what you were paying. And you would actually be paying yourself rather than you'd be paying like, and not only would you be paying yourself to be able to get rid of something, you'd also be producing electricity on site which is awesome for a homeowner because if the power lines are broken, the power plant's 200 miles away or whatever. Whereas you're producing electricity where you live. And what do you guys think as a homeowner happens to the value of your property if you put a bunch of solar panels on it?
I would hope it goes up.
Yeah, if you guys Google what do solar panels do to the value of my property, there's like 100 different sources because it's the internet. They all have different numbers about how much, but they all say the same thing. It will raise the value of your property and it will cause it to sell faster if you ever chose to sell your house. And if you think about it, if you guys could buy a house that comes with no electricity bill, do you think that would be a more valuable house?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but when
right?
if you sell your house and you still owe, if you sell your house and you still owe 15 years of payments, then they have to buy that loan, right?
You're awesome. Thank you for these are. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Valdez. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I get too excited.
Well, no, that's all right. You either pass it on over to the person that's purchasing the house, or it just comes out of the profit, unfortunately. But either way, it's a win-win.
So why'd you say it's a win-win? That's I feel the same way, but what do you mean by that?
Well, you're upping the value of your house, so you're making the money out of it either way, and then you're also making the house more appeasing to people to buy it. So you're going to make the money back either way, whether you pay it off or the person that you pass it on to pays it off.
Yeah, and if you guys are selling your home, we have a part of our service is if you connect us with your real estate agent, we can actually provide a one-pager that shows this system is warranted to produce this much electricity over this time, and electricity is worth this much per unit. So this system is actually valued at this much. And but yeah, you're exactly right. And you guys, this is like kind of a time-old game. You guys have heard people are going to sell their house, then they get their butt in gear and they redo the floors and paint the house, right? They didn't do it while they lived there, but they're about to sell it. And then they're all like making it nice, right? Why do they do that? Because they spend less fixing it up than the money they get out of when they sell it, right? They sell it for more than it costs them to kind of spiffy it up. Well, that's the same deal with solar panels. You'll pay less for the panels, especially if you buy them through an organization like Ovinova. We actually don't have salespeople. So sales commission, that's like, an average sales commission is $3,000 to $6,000 on a solar system. So if you bought it through a company that has a sales commission to pay, you're not just paying for marked up solar panels and marked up labor, but you're also paying for a sales commission. Whereas our marketing costs are not Facebook and Google and a door-to-door guy. They're paying schools and churches $50 to have a cool conversation over Zoom in the comfort of our homes. We don't mark up any of the equipment or the labor, and you'll see that. That's why we send you guys tonight this open book pricing, where we show you how much we earn, how much it costs to manage your project, how much the contractors pay, how much the solar panels cost, how much the shipping is. We share that with you because we're considerably less expensive than a lot of other options. And as an educated consumer, what do we tend to think when we see a lower price on a product, typically?
That maybe the quality is inferior.
You're exactly right. And if you're a homeowner thinking about putting something on your roof and a big investment like that, you're probably not going to want to go with something that's low quality, right? And so we want to make sure that you realize you're still getting tier 1 equipment. You're still getting 25-year warranties. You're just not paying for soft costs that aren't needed to be in there, like marketing, advertising, sales commissions, marked up equipment, marked up labor. So when you pay less for something that adds the same amount of value to your property, then you earn even more money when you go to sell it. But yes, Mr. Valdez hit it right on the head. If you went to sell your house, Trish, and you owed $100,000 on it still, all you would do is you would just sell the house and pay off the $100,000 to your mortgage company, right? So if you owed $10,000 on your solar panels, you'd sell the house for more than you would have if you didn't have panels, and then you just use that money to pay off your loan for your solar panels. Pretty cool. So yeah, it's a great question. There's so much stuff, guys, that when we learn about it, we're just like, oh my gosh, there's absolutely no reason to keep renting. I don't rent my house. Why would I rent my electricity, especially if I'm losing $32 a month pay, by actually paying myself to own solar panels. So fantastic work, guys. Continue to unravel this and keep exploring. What else have you guys thought about? You were curious about when it comes to solar.
I've got a question. How exactly does it work? And the question the lady had asked a little while ago about hurricanes and such, I kind of jumped in at that point. If you have solar panels, we go through a storm, power goes out. Obviously, during the day, you're generating power, but if the grid is not operational, do you still generate power for the house?
That depends on whether or not you choose. So when you get your option, when you get your design tonight, Mr. Valdez, if you look at it, there's a tab at the bottom that says standard option. And then there's a tab that says battery option. So if you choose the standard option, the answer is, even if the sun is shining outside, if you have solar panels and you don't have a battery and there's some issue with the utility grid, like the power lines have gotten damaged by a power line, yeah, your whole solar array actually shuts off completely for safety. Because do you guys remember when I talked about how? Yep. Imagine if you're producing and feeding back onto these power lines while somebody's right here trying to fix them. I have a video if you guys want to see it. Nobody was harmed, but it's dangerous. So there's safety equipment that in your panels, if the solar panels.
Yeah, so basically what he was going to say is there's safety equipment. So like if they're solar panel, so if the power goes out, your solar panels don't put electricity back into the grid. But if you have a battery, then your battery just turns on in like 5 seconds and you barely even notice it's on, or that you lost power. Like, y'all know how when you're sometimes blow drying your hair and then all of a sudden power shuts out and it takes like 15 seconds to come back on. It's way faster than that. I already answered it, John. You froze.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize I was frozen.
So then my second question, my next question to that, and I understand that completely. Now, my next question to it is, if we had not only solar panels, but a generator in the house, that obviously a backup generator just to run the house in case we do ever lose power, like some people do have here in South Florida, will a backup generator and solar panels work in conjunction, or is there a way to make them work in conjunction with each other?
Yes, sir. So we chose the inverter of choice is called a SolArc. It's a military grade inverter that this is a comparison chart you'll have in your design in case you were wondering, hey guys, why did you choose the solar panels that you chose? Why did you choose the batteries that you chose? By the way, we can get access to anything you want. So if you guys do research and you're like, hey, we want this, no problem. But we can also explain, we're super nerdy about this stuff and why we decided, I have a SolArc in my home, right? Why did I choose that? Well, guess what? You can hook a generator into the inverter and a battery into the inverter and solar panels into the inverter. And it can all work in conjunction intelligently where you can use your solar panels during the day. Your generator doesn't need to be on at all. You can charge up your battery during the day as well. And then after dark, run off your batteries. And let's say you were having a party into the wee hours of the morning and using a ton of electricity and your batteries got depleted. Then your generator can start up and charge your batteries up until they reach capacity and then shut back down instead of run for hours and hours and hours. So yes, sir, it will work as long as your generator produces 240 volts. So it won't work with one of those little baby 120 volt ones you see on food trucks and stuff.
Would you need to run, for instance, just as an example, you would typically, like a house of our size, need to run a 20K or a 22K generator to run the house. I would assume that if you had battery backups or batteries, as I say, plus your solar, you wouldn't have to run such a large generator. Would that be correct to say, or would you still need to run a 22K generator?
So these are really good questions, and I could answer them simply enough by saying if you want to run your entire house, then
Right.
you would need more. And if you wanted to run how most homeowners do it, which is like a critical load panel, which is essentially they choose and they go, you know what, I want my fridge to work, I want these outlets to work, I want these lights to work. It costs sometimes 3 or 4 times as much to run a whole house as it does to just pick off some really important stuff to make sure that it's
Understood.
always going to work. But so the answer is yes, you can alleviate the stress or need of a larger generator by using solar panels, batteries, and inverters in conjunction. But most likely what you'll want to do is you'll want to get really clear on essentially, if you look at this right here, Mr. Valdez, this is a picture of if you guys were using our service to go solar, we'd have you send us a photograph of your main panel. And then the labeling in your main panel. And based on that, I could tell you exactly what you need because it tells me how many amps you're drawing. And that's what's going to answer my, that's good. That's what's going to actually give us a real answer to your question instead of like a probably type answer, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So we collect the proper information to be able to do it all remotely for you, as opposed to, have folks come and knock on the door, which is cool. We love visiting people too, but we just know during COVID times and folks are busy and arranging a time for people to show up. And, it's hard enough just to show up for an easy fundraiser, right? Life is busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for the great questions. So just to recap, I just want to make sure, is everybody clear that if you chose there doesn't have to be initial cost at all? Like when you walk in and you get a $1,000 iPhone.
I have
Go
a
ahead,
question.
Trish. Yeah.
Is it also a zero cost if you go with the battery option?
Yes, ma'am. You could actually include a new roof for zero upfront cost as well if you want.
Okay.
Yep, you can get tree trimming. Any parts of any things that are necessary for you to complete your solar installation, you can include into your solar loan. So you can't add a new car or anything like that, but you can get a new hot water heater so you can be more efficient, so you can get to 100% offset and include that in your solar loan if you needed to.
Yeah.
And we can help with all that.
And that like water heater and the tree trimming gets applied. You can wrap that into your federal tax credit as well, which gets applied to your solar loan if you choose to.
Does anybody not know about the federal tax credit and how it works? Just curious.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, thanks for saying. I never know what people know until they tell me. So it's really simple, and you'll see it in your design. We show you the federal tax credit was actually extended, which is wonderful. It's part of the COVID bill. That it's 26% of the total cost of the system. So let me see, Trish, just to use, do you mind, Trish, if I just use your stuff to show you how the tax credit works up on screen? It doesn't have personal information other than, okay. Yeah. It might, I don't even see your address on this. So you should be good. All right. So I'm going to pull this over. So yes, like Luke said, you're currently paying $240 a month on average. Mm-hmm. And so if you were to do a zero down solar loan and take the tax credit, which in this case, it would be $12,267, and apply that to your solar loan, then you would be paying $214 a month, zero down, to be able to own solar panels, which is $32.97 less than what you're paying right now. Now this tax credit, it's 26% of the total. So without any incentives or anything, it's going to cost $47,182 for your solar, but your solar is warranted for 25 years. So this is fun. If you guys do this, it might blow your mind, but let's just say that Trish paid $240 a month for 25 years and she didn't go solar. So just to see what that would look like. So 240 times 12. So that's $2,880 if you waited 12 months to go solar that you will have given to your power company. and not be a single day closer to paying off your electricity bill. If you did that for 25 years, that's 72 grand, assuming that your power company didn't raise the rate at all. So in this case, you're paying $47,000 to increase the value of your home, be more resilient as a homeowner because you can produce electricity on site, and get a $12,000 tax credit, because if you don't go solar, then this $12,000 you will pay in taxes. This isn't like writing off miles, guys. This is on the end number of your taxes. So does anybody here pay taxes or have tax liability? Right? So when you're done filing, if the government told you that you owe them $15,000, or throughout the year, if you're a W-2, you paid in $15,000, then they're going to give you a $12,267 check back. If you're a 1099 or you're self-employed and you're going to have to write the government a $20,000 check or a $10,000 check, this gets subtracted from that. But this is real money on the bottom line that if you don't go solar, you're going to give to Uncle Sam. It's super cool. So not only is it way less expensive, even if there were no incentives to go solar, after the incentives, it's about half or less. Because again, if you just kept doing what you're doing for 25 years and they didn't raise the utility rates, you're going to pay 72 grand and not be a single day closer to paying it off. Yeah, that's why we love connecting with people about this. And like, if we seem really excited, it's not because of anything other than we're sharing it's like, I don't know if you guys ever had information that if you just wanted people to know because you knew it would be super helpful for them, you can go solar without paying anything up front. Most of the time, it's less than what you're currently paying. It's going to add value to your property. It's way better for the environment. The most expensive thing about going solar is the amount of time between when you hear about it and you know that it makes sense and when it gets activated. Because if it does take you a year, Trish, that's $2,880 that you could have paid down your solar panels, right? Every month that goes by is another $240 that you're just giving to the utility company that you could have been paying yourself. It's like paying rent versus paying a mortgage. It's just like that. So either way, I know I'm rambling now, but we just love sharing this with people, and we love it when people are curious and contributing as well. So thank you guys for that. What else is coming up for you? And just know the fundraiser was over. Since you guys saw the cat, you're not captive. We're definitely going to send you your design. There's a way for all of you guys. Here's yours, Patricia. Anytime you want, you can click this little link. It's on all the pages. It's on the battery option page. It's on the project timeline that shows you all the steps involved. And you can just click it. Any of you guys at any time, you can click this link and actually pick a day and a time to Zoom with us one-on-one. So we can, you know, Mr. Valdez might be like, I want to power my whole house on batteries. How much is that going to cost? I can show you in like 8 minutes. And so all you do is you click that link, pick a day, pick a time that works for you. And again, it's on your timeline. We're just super grateful to be. I want to live in a world that makes sense, guys. And it doesn't make sense to pay utility companies more money to do something that we can do ourselves with free sunshine. The last ramble I'll give you guys before I just open it up and is technology advances. Things change. Do you guys recognize anything in this photograph? Any of this stuff over here look familiar?
All of it.
Yeah. Would it make sense to have a camcorder now that we have an iPhone, or a calculator that you carry around in your briefcase? No, definitely not. It's like we don't drive our horses into town anymore, or we don't, you know, like we send a text message rather than putting a stamp on a piece of mail. Well, when technology advances, it just makes sense to embrace it. And there's no reason to set things on fire, to boil water, to make steam, to spin a magnet 150 miles from your house when you can do it where you live from free sunshine for less. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's just what happens. You know, now we have a supercomputer in our palm. And guess what? just like a phone, you can walk in a store and walk out 0 down and pay $30 a month for $1,000 thing. You can have your solar panels installed 0 down, pay monthly, and get rid of a electricity bill in the process. So the time, it's here, guys, and we'd love to help guide your solar transition. We created this like in a way that we thought we would like our moms to experience a solar transition, and we love our moms. So hopefully you guys enjoy the process so far. But is there anything that you guys have unfinished about this list of things, or anything else that came up?
No.
Cool. Well, we're here for you, and we're happy to. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We could remake your design. Oh, here you go. This might be useful for you guys. You can get solar any way you want it. If you guys want a solar pergola, you can get bifacial panels that let light pass through them. If you want solar skin, you want to take a picture of your roof and we can actually match the solar panels to the roof. You can do it that way. You can have it mounted in the yard if you don't want it on your roof. The only panels we've ever installed on people's houses are all black. Nobody really likes the silver ones. So we like, everybody's always getting like jet black. They almost look like a skylight type of deal. But you can put the panels anywhere you want. It just, where you put them determines how much sunshine they get. How much sunshine they get determines how much electricity they make, and that determines how much you save. And we can show you all we can literally zoom in on your house and place and remove panels. We'll be happy to do it for you. But remember this, there's a lot, everybody on this meeting said the same thing, that there's a lot going on in the world and we're all super duper duper busy, right? And so it's really easy for another month to go by and another electricity bill to come around. And so if you guys are thinking about it and and any of this made any sense, when you guys get your open book pricing, go and put a time on the calendar where we can meet and review your design. Because it's like when you leave the dentist. If you don't set up your next dentist appointment, you know what I mean? They always just schedule the next one while you're there, because it's like life is busy and it's like, oh darn, I know I should go to the dentist, and you're always happy you went, but nobody really is like, oh, the dentist is today. Can I cancel it? Can I move it? You know, go ahead and set up a meeting with us, because we want to get your design tighter. And so if you could bring your yearly consumption instead of a guess about your yearly consumption, we'll know exactly how many panels you need down to the single one, and your numbers will be tight and everything will be exactly like you like it. Maybe you want 110% of your energy because you're about to get an electric car. We can help you with that. So either way, remember, think of us like the dentist. You know we should do it. So schedule a time with us. We'll be pleasurable. And we're super grateful you guys showed up tonight, and happy to support the organizations that you guys came here to support. I'm just hanging out to serve you guys. So if there's anything else, please ask. Otherwise, you know, you can go anytime.
All right. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot.
Cool, Trish. Thanks for coming. Thanks for participating.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Good night.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Buenas noches.
Bye.
See y'all.
Bye.
All right. Can you get off YouTube real quick? That was great.
Yeah, I don't know how to get up YouTube real quick. Am I even broadcasting still? Oh, there we go. It was on a different screen.